Okay, well, good morning, everyone. We are 3 weeks into the regular season here. We're just starting our third week of the regular season. We've had 4 varsity events so far. We've had 2 tournaments, 2 matches. Tournaments, we've had a 4th place finish out of about 17 teams. I think we're there. 6th place out of 24 teams, so we've been in the top 25%. But each of those finishes, excuse me, matches, we split with Staley and Platte County. We lost to Staley. We had played them at their home course, and then hosted Platte County here, and we beat them last week. So with that, I'll take questions.
I know Lake Graybill has been a state qualifier for the past couple of years. What does it look like for state for her this year?
Well, she's off to a really good start. At our first tournament, she shot 73, which I think is 2 over par out at Shoal Creek. She did a great job out there, finished 2nd in that tournament, I believe. Second tournament, shot an 81, finished 4th. We were at Cardinal Hill there, which is a much more difficult course. I think all the scores were up a little bit. So, Lake's worked incredibly hard over the summer. I think she's positioned herself to make a great run at state again. And, I don't want to speak for Lake, but I think her goal is probably, to be all state, and I think she's got a really good shot at that.
How do you encourage your players every time they go out to play?
Oh, I think we have a lot of discussions just about the mental side of the game. And so just the importance of, staying focused, staying in the moment, excuse me, focusing on each shot. Just reminding them that it's just a game. And, it's amazing some of the pressure you feel sometimes out there. Particularly, I think everybody who's played golf before has dealt with, the pressure of being on the first tee and everybody standing around watching you. And so I just try to encourage them and, remind them it's just a game and to try to have fun and just get better every day. Most important, I think what I just said, though, have fun, because that's, really what it's all about.
What are your expectations for this year?
Well, I always feel like coming into the season I have a couple of different goals that we're looking at. One is to provide as much opportunity for as many girls as possible. And, I said we've had 4 varsity events. We've also had what I would call some secondary varsity events, which just get some of those players that aren't necessarily in my top 5 some opportunity to play. And then we've had several JV events as well. So I think already in the first couple of weeks of the season, everybody has played a couple of times. And I think that's going to hold true for the next 2 weeks. We've got everybody on the course. And so that's always one goal. And then, the other goal is that we put the 5 best players out there in the preseason that we can. And so that's kind of what the regular season is all about, is identifying who those best players are, who those top 5 players are, and then giving them an opportunity to go into the postseason and give us the best chance to go as far as we can in the postseason.
What are some obstacles your golfers are currently faced with in order to make it into the state?
Well, for one, golf's a very difficult game, and a lot of the girls that we have come out for golf have not been playing for a long time. I think even Lake, I just asked Lake Graybill the other day when she started playing, and she just started playing before she got to high school. And so what we're dealing with is a lot of girls who, particularly on the private side, who have been members of a country club for a number of years and have played since they were very little, and they come into their high school careers with a tremendous amount of competitive experience already. And so, that just makes it more difficult because for our girls to compete sort of at that same level. But we've got 7 or 8 girls this year who have come back with some experience, and they're doing a great job. Again, my expectation every year is that they just get better and improve, and that's what I hope they do. And so we kind of got to measure by our own yardstick and say, are you better than you were last year? Are you making progress? Are you working on different parts of your game and getting better? So, and if you want to work hard enough to rise to the level of being able to get into that postseason run and maybe actually get to state, then that's ultimately the goal. But yeah.
How do you prepare your players for each tournament? Like, is there anything different for versus who you play, or maybe where you're going? Anything different?
No, sometimes we'll talk about whatever course we're going to play. So, for example, we just went to Staley Farms recently. The greens are very different. They're very fast greens, and so you try to prepare them for that. Sometimes that's hard to do because you get out there and it's just so different than what you've seen before. But no, I think we just mostly play golf every day at practice and keep trying to just get better every day. And so I don't think there's anything in particular. Now, as we get closer to state and get into the postseason, then we'll start looking at what courses we're playing and sometimes breaking those down a little bit, talking about where you want to hit the ball here and there and getting more specific. But, right now, not anything too different. I mean, every time it's just, you're going out there and playing the golf course every time you go out. So that's about that.
How are you feeling about the team overall this year, like as an entire team?
Well, we lost. I mean, I'm really good. They've performed really well so far. We did lose 2 seniors last year, and 2 of our seniors that were basically, I think, 4-year letter winners all the way up through the program. So that's tough to absorb. And we've had about 8 girls in the mix for the top 5. Going into the 3rd week here, I think we're starting to kind of see who those top 5 players are. And obviously when you have Lake throwing up a 73 at the first tournament, that allows the other girls to not have to be quite as good, and you can still place. But I think all of them, like I said, I think have improved their game. I'm very pleased with how they're playing. I think we had 3 weeks of preseason and kind of established some averages at that point in time, kind of where they're playing, and they have been able to go out into the regular season and sort of perform at that same level. So that's good, and again, hopefully they'll continue to improve with about 3 weeks left. So let me take one more question, and then we'll wrap it up.
What does it take to get to state and stay in the postseason?
It takes showing up on those days. Golf's funny. It's of course this is probably true of all sports, but when you have the district tournament, it's elimination. I mean, if you don't show up and play that day, you're out. And then that's the same thing true for sectionals. And then so it takes. But it takes a tremendous amount of hard work in the off season, to be honest, and that's what I think the ones you see at state are the ones that have been putting in a lot of hard work. So, okay, thank you very much.